Welcome to Shorty's SuperCoach. Going to take a look at the Swans today. A bit going on with the Swans. I quite like the look of their lineup this year. They boosted themselves up the ladder off the back of a fair bit of youth, and I reckon a few of those young guys could be taking our fancy again now. Like the title suggests, Shorty's feeling a little bit crazy. Maybe it's because we're getting a little bit hectic with COVID again, and stuff's just getting a little crazy, and we're all losing our minds down here in Victoria. But calm down. Shorty's going to give you us an absolute gold today. And normally I'd start with a lock and the breakout, but let's go straight to the risk because that's what the title suggests. And Isaac Heaney. Our good friend Isaac Heaney. Hasn't he just been a disaster at times? One of the favourites of way back. And he's just hurt us and sometimes burnt us with injury and playing forward and just being a bit all over the shop. But I'm going to bloody pick him. Stuff ya. I know. You probably think, Shorty, you've lost the plot. You've been inside for too long, mate. But I'm going to pick him. Isaac Heaney, it's time. All I needed was one article from Johnny Longmire to say, yeah, you know what? We're going to play him in the midfield a little bit more. Thanks, John. That's all I needed. So I'm going to put him in my side. Like I did Jai Simpkin last year, do not let me change that decision, even though it killed me last year. You got to have a bit of fun with it sometimes. I know Shorty doesn't always have the greatest seasons, but sometimes it's just about going with something and sticking to it. Hey, maybe one day it'll work for old Shorty Supercoach. But honestly, on a serious note, this bloke's too good to not have a serious look at. If he's not your cup of tea, fair enough. But I'm not a massive subscriber to never going with guys ever again just because they hurt you. It's a little bit different out in the real world. If someone stuffs you around, you might hold a bit of a grudge. And look, going back to the ex never normally works. Don't ask me how I know that. But Isaac Heaney, I think we will see more time in the midfield. It's a question of how much. Now, what I do like is that let's hope Franklin can get fit. Let's hope Logan McDonald is playing a more significant role. We've got two McCartans at Sydney now. Will one of them be in the forward line? Maybe, probably not Tom, but let's just wait and see. The point being is this guy's dying for some midfield opportunity. I remember watching under-18 highlights of Callum Mills and being like, who's this blonde bastard that's getting all the handballs out to Mills? If you can find it, I think it's national championships, and it's Isaac Heaney. He's just tearing it up as a midfield as a youngster. He hunts the ball so well. He's got real Jimmy Bartell vibes for me. You know, can win his own ball, but he's great overhead. Now, we're still going to see him taking big marks, kicking goals, but I just think at this price, the difference to other years is that we've seen him priced in the 90s, so it's not like he's cheap. We're hoping for a breakout into premium status, but what you've got now is actually a discounted Heaney, and probably you would have to think he's like Petrarca in the way that it's coming. At some point, he's going to explode. He's too good of a player to not. And it's a bit like Petrarca for mine, and I said it for years that he would explode. He eventually did, and I wasn't on board. So I'm going to go with him this year. Now, of course, the body has to be a concern. He's found a way to get injured in strange ways at times, but I don't know. Let's just track his pre-season. If there's a niggle or two, all right, I'll be a bit concerned. But if he's fine, because remember last year there was a niggle. But this time around, if he's fit and firing, Shorty's going to go with him. Could be crazy. I could reference this video a lot. We'll just wait and see. But let's go back up to the lock. Let's talk Jake Lloyd. And I just think, you know, there's a great opportunity for him to just keep doing what he does. Now, I know that Jordan Dawson was dominant at times. Now he leaves the club. I think there's a chance that Lloyd sort of is helped by that in a way. Take maybe a few more kick-ins here and there. Is the exit player just a little bit more likely? So I think he's safe as houses to average around the same sort of 110 kind of mark. So I really like the way he goes about it. He's just an easy watch. You know, he just gets kicks. He takes the kick in whenever, and he just links up. He's their guy back there. So really interested to see how many people go with him because we've got a few options down back, and I think Lloyd's one of the best. Breakout contender, like I said off the top, there's a few young Swans that I think is quite interesting to take a look at. Dill Stevens, going to be cheap. You know, can he finally get an opportunity? I think he was pick 5 a few years ago. Talk about him moving clubs. He stays put. Can he get an opportunity? I'm not really sure where. I know he's been played as a wingman and on baller. I think I read somewhere he was trialled down half back. I'm not really sure where he lines up, to be honest. Someone out there might be able to tell me a little bit better. But surely he's a guy that if he's in the Swans best 22, he's going to be in our sides as well. I think he's about 167k. Nick Blakey as well, a little bit more expensive, and a bit more awkward, to be honest. I just want to chuck him in because I think he's a guy, again, Jordan Dawson leaving the club. He's a bloke that was trialled off half-back and maybe, I think he's a very talented player. He's a very nice kick. So I think he could be a guy that maybe just finds his feet in that back half and could lift his average a touch. I don't think we're going to pick him, but again, he might be, like I've said on a few occasions, just a nice guy that we can have as a draft option potentially. So keep him on your radar. And a favourite of mine, and again, a beautiful left foot kick, is Braden Campbell. Had some amazing footy early in the year, particularly one game where he was on fire. And it just didn't pan out for the rest of the year for him. He went out of favour, had some poorer scores in there as well. But I think, again, second year, hopefully it's not the second year blues. Hopefully it can be a positive thing for him where he actually gets more opportunity. Again, Dawson leaves. If he has a good preseason regardless, I think he's the sort of guy that the Swans would want to play in their side. So we'll just, again, have to wait and see. But he's a favourite of mine, and I think he could give us some real joy as a SuperCoach prospect in the years to come. No chance for my side, and it's just a broad one, really. Just the Swans' experienced veteran players. Franklin, I've sort of mentioned in the past years that, he's no longer a fantasy option. Josh Kennedy is in the same boat. Not that anyone's going to pick him. And Luke Parker, if you're scrolling through and you see that stellar average of last year, maybe just keep scrolling. I know it was an outstanding year where he averaged 108 or something like that, but there's better options. I know he did it again, and I probably thought he wouldn't last year, but at some stage he's going to fall back like Kennedy did this year. So be very interesting to see. And look, Callum Mills is a really interesting one. I obviously haven't mentioned him. If you want to pick him as a premium, honestly, I'd endorse it. I think he looked fantastic as a midfielder, and that's his position now. He's here to stay. So I look forward to watching Millsy and hopefully Heaney run around in the midfield for the best part of a decade for the Swans. So I'll look forward to that. But if I've missed anyone, or there's anyone there that you like is in your team, or someone maybe you don't like that I thought might go half decent, let me know. I'll be back. What do we got? The Dogs of the West Coast at a final too. So that'll be good to wrap that up, and we can sort of start to get into some different content. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys soon. Cheers.